second graders, on Friday, we talked about the pennies and the nickels
And the quarters.
and the dimes. And today we are going to talk about the
Quarters.
quarters. Now the quarters are the last common coin, I'll call common, coin that we use daily. Okay, there are other coins, but the common coin that is worth the most that we use is called the quarter. Now if you look up here on our lesson today, we're just talking about quarters. Our essential question is, how do I count and use money? So tomorrow we will be really using and counting money and practicing that skill. We'll be getting out our money to do that. But today, let's talk about the quarter. Because this quarter is what we call the Washington quarter. On the front of it, there is George Washington. What president number was he? John?
Number 1.
Number 1. He was our very first president. Brooklyn, put that away. He was our very first president. And on the back of most quarters, what do you think you see on the back of them?
Eagle.
Tyson, an eagle. So our country's symbol for freedom is the eagle, and it is our country's bird. So we have the bald eagle as our back of the quarter. However, look up here because this is pretty cool. They did something different back in 1999. This was the year that Mrs. Murphy graduated high school. So this was 22 years ago. They started doing the state quarters. And what they did is, every year, they made a quarter for a state. And so the back of the quarter, they took away the eagle, and they put a different state on the back of the quarter. So as you can see, the first 5 states were Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. Then they kept going.
Minnesota?
They did 5 more states into 2000. They did Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Virginia. Then they kept going, and they did New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Kentucky in 2001. In 2002, they did Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, Mississippi.
Wait, my name.
In 2004, they did Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri, Arkansas. 2004, they did Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin. 2005, they did California, Minnesota,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oregon, Kansas, West Virginia. Now on the back of ours, we have our state that says land of 10,000 lakes. We have our state bird, the loon, and we have like a boat that's fishing in a lake. So that kind of represents our state. Then 2006, they did Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota. 2007, they did Montana, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. And in 2008, they did Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Alaska, and Hawaii. Now, they got all 50 states done. They did 5 every year, so they did it for 10 years. So the last year was 2008, almost 9. I will give you a chance later on today to look at Mrs. Murphy's. I have a state quarter map. And if you want to look at the quarters, I have this at home. And I bring it every year when we learn about quarters. And I noticed my South Dakota quarter fell out. So I have all of them except my South Dakota one, which I think fell out this morning, or I don't know when it fell out. I just grabbed it. But I'm going to put this on the counter. And you guys later on today,
Look weird.
once you get done with your math worksheet, you can come over and look at all the states and the state quarters, the back of them. So the tail of them, which is no longer the eagle, but is actually the quarter for the state. Okay? So this is something new, I should say newer, that they have done to help represent our 50 states? You guys all have questions?
I got a little bit of one.
Okay. All right, put your hands up. I'm not taking questions yet. Okay. So, let's learn to see how much a quarter is. So, if you get one of these quarters, how much is your quarter worth, John?
25 cents.
25 cents. So, this is the biggest value. So, you would write 25 with your cent sign, or you would write $0 and 25 cents. Now, what if I had I was like, what are you saying no to? You liked all of our words from this morning, huh?
Yeah.
What
I
happens
really didn't.
if
I did not want that.
I'm going to move this so my remote learners can see. I know that if I have 1/4, I'm going to write it with a Q with a circle around it. Or another way I could write it is a 25 with a circle. Okay? This is either way you're going to write your quarter. Now, if I have 1/4, so 1/4, I have 25 cents. What if I have 2 quarters? Am I going to say 25 and am I going to count all the way on my fingers to another 25? No, Raylan, what would I have?
50.
50. So I just have to remember 25, 50. What happens if I have 3 quarters? Kaden, do you know what 3 quarters is, Kaden?
75.
75 cents. Good job. And what if I have 4 quarters, Brooklyn?
80.
Kinsley, 4 quarters. No?
Oh, I don't know.
Wyatt? No? Ellie?
$1.
$1. So I would have 100 cents, and that would also be equal to, Ellie said, $1. So 4 quarters equals $1. So I want us to say, we're going to say this a couple times to get in our head. We're going to say 25, 50, 75, 100, or should we say $1? $1. Okay, ready? Let's start here. Ready?
25, 50, 75
25, 50, 75 25, 50. No, not 55, just 50. 50 is like half of 100 is 50. 50, 75 $1. 25, 50, 75 $1.
That's
Okay.
the biggest coin.
So,
$1.
when you look at the quarter, John noticed that it is the
I already
biggest.
knew it.
John noticed it is the biggest coin. There is a $50 that is bigger than a quarter, but we do not use a $50. So it's the biggest common coin we have. So when we're counting money, this is the biggest common coin you will probably have. And it is also worth the most out of all the coins. And what color is it, John?
It's kind of like smooth metal.
Okay, but what color? So if you look at this, what color would you color your coins on your paper? Black, red, purple, orange, brown, green,
Silver.
silver, or
Yeah.
gray.
Not like silver.
Silver. So, Carson, would you put down, please? So just like the dime and the nickel, this one is also silver. But one later, remember this is the biggest one. So these, nickel and dime, is also silver. But the quarter is the third silver one. But it is the biggest and is worth the most. Brooklyn.
Is there a
quarters is only state quarters.
Are you 36?
Kinsley,
I have some of those.
you have some of the state quarters? Cool, cool.
I do too.
So maybe you should look to see how many you have. Would that be cool?
I have a lot of money. I have a lot of
Okay. A lot of
state quarters.
quarters. You'll have to see if they have the states on the back or if they have the eagle. Okay, Raylan.
It's probably not, but is there like a country quarter? There's probably not. But
Look it up.
You know what, Raylan? Every country that you go to has different coins that they use. So, like for our country, we use these coins. But if you go to Mexico, their coins are totally different. They use what they call pesos. And I don't know much about their currency, but they will not use our money down there. They have to use their money. Just like if somebody comes to our country, they have to use our money. And sometimes you have to exchange it and trade it. So a lot of countries have their own money, Raylan. And that's their way to keep track of like how much their country makes and all that stuff. So that's a good question, but most countries have their own currency. It's called currency. Their own coins. Okay? Good question though. Carson.
I'm pretty sure last night, you know Henry in 3rd grade, his mom stopped at our house and her gave me and Colton, my little brother, a coin and it was from 200. It was 200. I forgot.
Like 2000.
Yeah, 2000, and it was a coin. And it was $1.
It was a dollar one, a dollar coin.
Yeah.
We'll talk about those tomorrow, okay?
They're really cool.
They are cool.
They're
they're
it's like
different though.
it was like not silver.
It was a gold
There's
one.
like
Yeah.
silver, gold.
So tomorrow we'll talk about those.
And I have a Mexico coin.
Okay. All right, Wyatt.
Mom and Dad always
I
buy
know a
Mexico.
European.
I got new
Their
Mexico.
currency.
Yeah, I know their money sign. It's a C with 2 lines.
It could be. I would not know actually.
This is lucky.
All right, I'm gonna get these last two, because I already got Brooklyn and Raylan, and then we gotta move on. Charlotte.
Wait, you didn't do me. You know the Minnesota coin and the Arizona one? I have been to those two. So here
Yeah.
and at Arizona.
So do you have both of those quarters?
Yeah.
Very cool. Keep them. Save them. And if you could ask, like, my dad gave me this when I was, because it started. Remember what year it started?
1990.
Yep, and that was the year I graduated. So my dad, as kind of a present, he gave one to my sister, my brother, and me. And my sister and brother have their own maps. But my dad was really into collecting, and he collected all the quarters except this one, like I said, fell out. But if you're interested in doing something like this, just ask your mom and dad. I think he found this online, and it was really cheap. And last year, my second graders, I think we looked it up, and it was like $30 to get something like this to hold all your money. So ask your mom and dad. And like I said, I'll put it over here later so you can look at it. Okay, Lewis, last one.
I had two. I think I have like a lot of Minnesota coins, like quarter ones. My second question: why, when you have 4 quarters, why does it make 1 cent?
100 cents.
I mean, 100.
Yeah. So remember, 100 cents is $1. So if you had 100 pennies, that would be $1. If you had 4 quarters, that would still be $1 too. So they're equal. Okay. All right. We're gonna watch this scratch art on quarters. Okay. Would you pass this out?
Garden.
Oh, scratch garden. Sorry. No, not questions right now.
Counting my quarters.
I'm gonna make it a little louder.
Start with a quarter, that's 25 cents. Add another quarter, that's 50 cents. Four quarters is a dollar. Now you know, keep on adding quarters. How high can you go?
That's probably like
25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Counting by quarters. Counting by quarter. Let's do it again, but go up to $2. 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. 125, 150, 175, $2. Counting by quarters. Counting by quarters. We are up to $2 and this sure is fun. Let's go up to $5 and then we are done. 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, 125, 150, 175, $2, 225, 250, 275, $3, 325, 350, 375, $4, 425, 450, $475, $5.
One way that we are going to remember 4 quarters is $1 is we will always box the 4 quarters. So once we have $1, once we have 4 quarters, we will box it. And when we put that box, it will represent like a dollar bill. Okay? So that's one way to remember 4 quarters is $1. We'll kind of make it look like a dollar bill by making it a long rectangle. Okay?
Counting by quarters. Counting by quarters. Counting by quarters. Counting by quarters. Thank you very much for coming along on this one.
I feel bad for the dog.
Okay.
It's all by itself.
So 4 quarters. Kaden, no thank you. 4 quarters is $1. So on your quarters worksheet, would you please put your name at the top? You're on the front page. You don't even have your name on the front. No, no. We're writing as an almost third grade. Writing nice. Okay. Now on the front, we're gonna kind of skip this. They want us to sort them, and we're gonna do that tomorrow. We're gonna sort them. We'll get out our quarters and our pennies and our nickels and our dimes, and we'll sort them tomorrow on our desks. And then on Wednesday, Mr. Homestead's coming in here, and we're gonna do a really cool activity where we use our iPads to sort and count money. Okay? So today, on the bottom, I just want you to write a quarter is 25 cents. So write down here 25 cents. So 1 quarter is 25 cents. And practice that cent sign. It's a C with a line through it. And remember, the cent sign comes after the number of money. So 25 cents. A dime is 10 cents. So put your 10 and then your cent sign. A nickel is 5 cents. And a penny is 1 cent. A penny is 1 cent. Okay, flip it to the next page.
It's kind of like if that was a 1 and then 5 and 10. Kind of like the
Okay, Miss Shapers, group me quietly, push your chair and line up at the door. Hey, Now, here's your helpful hint. Remember, this symbol, the C with a line through it, stands for cents. Okay? So we have to have that symbol behind our amount. Because if we don't have that symbol, it's just a number. Okay, so look at the first one. If we are counting these quarters, we have 3 quarters. Let's say the quarters as we count them. Ready? 25, 50, 75. Go ahead and trace that with your pencil, please.
Oh my gosh, they mix you one down.
I shouldn't hear any voices. I think it's at a 0. Nope, it's at a 1. Could be at a 0. Okay, now, down here, we are going to start counting with the coin that has the biggest value. They put these coins in order. Sometimes you guys are going to find that they don't put coins in order. They mix them all around. And when they do that, Mrs. Murphy wants to show you what to do. So they were nice and put these in order from the greatest value to the smallest value. But sometimes they won't do that because they want to see if you know your coins. So we're going to start with these first 2. Addie, what are these first 2?
Nickel.
Nope.
Dime.
Look at them. You got to really think, guys. Who is on the quarter? George Washington. That is George Washington. You have to know your coins and look at them and see who is on there, what is the value. So George Washington. So Addie, how much is George Washington?
25.
Good. Now, I'm going to cross them off because I want you guys to get used to doing that because sometimes when they mix money around, I want you to cross off as you count so you can keep track of which ones you've already counted. Now, Kaden, what's the next point?
Another quarter.
Another quarter. So how much would that be if I had 2 quarters?
50.
Good job, Kaden. 50 cents. So I'm going to cross it off. 25, 50. Now, who could find what the next coin is? What do you think, John?
10.
It's a
60.
10
10,
cents.
70.
Okay, so John sees there's 2 of them. And they're
60,
dimes. So John says they're 10 cents. So you said 60 and 70 cents. Good job,
Then
John.
75.
Just wait. You know your money. I'm proud of you.
John knows his money.
Now, John, do you count money a lot? No, you must because you know how to count money. So that's great. Now, I know John knows this, but Louis, do you know what this next one is?
Come up and draw just the whole thing. I already know
Do you know this one? Okay, let me make it red though. Good job. So Louis, what is that? You were right.
95.
75, that's a nickel. Okay, then who can get the last 2? Wyatt, do you think you can? Excellent. 76, 77. So he didn't rate this the best 7, but it is 77 cents. This is what
That's
this
what I
money is
just
equal to.
They put a different state of
Okay. Okay. Everybody has that? We're gonna go up. Addie, question?
They put a different state of a quarter right on the next
Oh,
one.
they did?
They put
Yeah,
Florida.
they did.
That's
They have
awesome.
Florida.
They put Florida?
How
much sense is that?
25.
Okay.
25.
So,
It's like 2,000.
oh,
Well, it's a gillion.
that's really hard to see. I can barely see it.
Yeah, it's.
Is it Florida?
Yeah,
that's
Florida.
It's an 1845.
Very cool.
It was made in 2004.
No,
What is it?
1843.
I thought 1845.
It says 1843.
Oh, you guys are looking at the very, very bottom one. I'm